Hi everyone, I'm Hans Christian Darsono, a 7th semester student of Petrochemical University, majoring in International Business Management program. Today I would like to explain about what I am and what I want to be in the future, because I believe that planning my life will make my life more easier, meaningful, and also successful. So, before I start my journey in the working life, I believe that it is important to discover about myself first. Therefore, today I would like to use the action learning diagram developed by Professor Dr. Casey Chan to explain about myself. So, here is the diagram.
The action learning diagram is consisted of what, why, who, when, how, where, and how much. First, I will start with what. To answer about what am I will use the 3 levels of individual competence, team capacity, and also organization capability. Now I will start with my individual competence. In this individual competence category, there are 3 tasks that needs to be taken. The first task is learning styles. In terms of my learning styles, it turns out that my reflector and pragmatist are the highest. This means I like to try new things, experiment with new ideas, solving problems, but still down to earth. While as a reflector, I will also reflect on the lessons that I have learned from trying new things and ideas to make sure that no mistakes will be repeated in the future. However, since the theory is in well balanced with reflector and pragmatist styles, then I will still hold on into relevant theories before I act. Now let's move on to the second test, which is the entrepreneur GET test. In here, there are 5 characteristics of entrepreneur, which are need for achievement, need of autonomy, creative tendency, calculated risk-taking, and drive and determination. Based on the test, it turns out that I scored high for 3 of them, which are need for achievement, calculated risk-taking, and drive and determination. In terms of need for achievement, it turns out that I'm forward-looking, optimistic, and results-oriented. This means I just focus on how to achieve something, while for calculated risk-taking, it turns out that I can set challenging but also attainable goals, because I can calculate the risk itself. And lastly, in terms of drive and determination, it turns out that I'm a hard worker. I work really hard by taking an advantage of opportunities and have a self-confidence to achieve my goals. Okay, now let's move on to the last step of the individual competence test, which is the Big 5 personality test. The Big 5 personality are extraversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, and openness to experience. Based on the results, it turns out that my 3 highest scores are extraversion, agreeableness, and openness to experience. Extraversion means that I'm an outgoing person, so I enjoy talking and going out with others. Secondly, I'm an agreeableness person. This means besides an outgoing person, I'm also adaptable to my surroundings. Thirdly, I'm also open to new experience, which means I love to try new things. Now, I'm done with my individual competence, and let's move on to the second level, which is the team capacity. To test the team capacity, I will use the Belbin's 19 roles test. After I took the test, it turns out that my biggest score is implementer. It means that I'm a disciplined, reliable, conservative, and efficient in the teamwork. And usually my job is to turn ideas into practical actions. Besides implementer, I will also consider the 3 highest after implementer, as the gap of the scores are very small. Those 3 are monitor, evaluator, team worker, and coordinator. As a monitor evaluator, I'm a sober, strategic, and discerning person. It means that I can see all options and judge accurately. Secondly, Team worker means that I'm cooperative, smart, perceptive, and diplomatic. This means I can listen carefully to other opinions. And the last one is coordinator. As a coordinator, I'm a mature, confident, and a good chairperson. It means that I can clarify goals, promote decision making, and delegate well. Besides the good things, I will also talk about my weaknesses in the teamwork. The first weakness is I'm not a completer finisher. A completer finisher is the opposite of coordinator, as they tend to be wary and reluctant to delegate. The second one is I'm not a thinker innovator. A thinker innovator tends to ignore details, which this doesn't suit me, as I'm a monitor evaluator. And the last one is the resource investigator, which is the opposite of implementer, because resource investigator will lose interest once initial enthusiasm has passed. That is all about my team capacity, and now let's talk about the last level, which is the organizational capability. To know about my organizational capability, I will use the leadership self-assessment test. The results of the test shows that my scores in the 9 abilities of a leader are actually quite similar. My highest abilities show that I am good in building relationship with my colleagues, as I also good in communicating with them. And sometimes I can also give them a motivation and inspiration. Additionally, I will also lead my team in an ethical way. Besides those 4, I'm also pretty good in negotiating and setting direction. And the things that I need to improve in doing leadership are learning about leading change, aligning people, and leading teams, as this is also a crucial requirement for a leader. Once I know about my individual competence, team competence, and organizational capability, now I'm able to figure out about my capability in the 5 levels of leadership development, which consisted of highly capable individual, contributing team member, competent manager, effective leader, and master coach or change agent. I believe that I am still in the competent manager level, and I need to study more and have more experiences to get to the highest level, which is the master coach. So, to conclude about myself, I will choose 4 key attributes. Based on the test earlier, I believe that my 4 key attributes are approachable, sociable, results-oriented, and optimistic. These 4 key attributes leads me to have compatibility with 2 jobs, which are Chief Marketing Officer and also Project Manager. Now, let's move on to the second step of action learning, which is the 5 whys. First, why do I need to know about my personality? Well, this is important to know which trait is my specialization and to check how it can be improved to match my learning style. Second is, why do I need to know my learning styles is also important to understand what kind of learner I am and to match my role in the team. And third, I need to know my team roles in order to understand how can I contribute to the team best and what leadership style will suit me. Fourth, I need to know my leadership style to know which leadership style that I need to improve in order to know whether I will be more suitable in leading or to be led. And lastly, I need to know about my entrepreneur skills to know about my attributes in entrepreneurship and how can I improve myself to be a successful entrepreneur. After knowing about myself, my key attributes and why, it is important to know that it's time for me to analyze about how to implement all of this so in the end I can achieve an optimal life. So here I will use the who, when, how. So let me start with who. There are two kinds of who. The first one is who I want to be, which I already mentioned this last time, that I want to be a chief marketing officer or a project manager. There are some requirements needed to have those kind of jobs, such as intelligence, personal trait, and interest, which I already learned and obtained, while for knowledge, experience, and skills are not yet obtained for me, and I will plan to learn those things in the future. The second who is who will support me to achieve my dream jobs. Of course, the first one is myself. Without the willing to do it from myself, I won't be able to achieve it for sure. And the second is my friends, family, and also lecturer, as they will give me support financially, mentally, and also in terms of knowledge. And the last thing is the International Business Management or the Petra Christian University, and also my future company, as they are the one who will give me the facility to learn. After I know about who I want to be and who will support me, it's time for me to make a schedule about when will I perform, so in the end I can achieve my goals in time. Here is my schedule for the next 10 years. In the first years, I want to graduate as an active bachelor degree of management from Petra Christian University and start working in a multinational enterprise in Indonesia. In the third year, I want to take postgraduate study in the UK or Australia for marketing or project management. And in the fifth year, I want to start working in a multinational enterprise in UK or Australia. And in the 10th years, I want to start working as a marketing manager in a multinational enterprise as a stepping stone to be the managing director. Once I know when I will perform to achieve my goals, it's time to know about how can I make sure that I will achieve it. Because I already know about the input, which is what I am, the process, which is the schedule plan, and also the output, which is who I want to be in the future, then all that's left is to make sure that the plan will work well. To do this, I need to use the key performance indicator. So I set my yearly goals and see in the end of the year of each year whether I already achieve it or not. If not, I'm going to fix it or adjust my goals. Now let's move on to the fourth step of the action learning diagram, which is where. Where in here means where in this process can go either right or wrong. As every plan will not always be 100% successful, it is important for me to have a contingency plan. As there are two possible goals that I want to achieve, which are to become Chief Marketing Officer or Project Manager, then my contingency plan is to shift to the other goal if somewhat it's not possible to become one of them. And now for the last step is about how can I improve myself to be a stamina, communicative, expert, adaptive, response, and execution. So for stamina power, it can be enhanced through lifelong action learning by improving, integrating, and implementing. For communicative power, it can be improved through connections and networking by expanding it. For expert power, it can be enhanced through building blocks of competence by improving independency and creativity. For adaptive power, it can be enhanced through management leadership and entrepreneurship by improving leading skills. For response power, it can be improved with evaluating and hearing by improving the responsive skills. And last but not least, execution power can be enhanced through execution in jobs and assignments to improve the execution skills.
In conclusion, I have talked about my passion, personality, capability, and also my future plan. Thanks to the action learning diagram, I'm able to analyze those results and also make sure that plan will work out in the future. So that's all about myself, and thank you for your attention.